Hello Internet! Welcome to Monday the 20th of July 2020 with me, Doc Eon, rambling about miniatures. And this time I can show you all the finished stuff almost in one shot, not quite. So we have these miniatures from Song of Blazing Heroes, the halflings, and some Reaper animals. There's the kangaroo, the koala, and the aardvark. Just very simple. Possibly the most fun miniature here is the dog rider. Now these look a little shiny, especially on the rims of the bases, and on some of them there's like a really thick glossy coat. This is because I've had to varnish them despite the weather being really humid, which I don't usually like to do, but I didn't have a choice in this case, because that's what the weather's been like for days now, and I had to get these done. But it's not a big deal if they're a little bit shiny. So these halflings are not the most complicated sculpts, but some of them have a lot of character, like the chef, which I quite like, and kind of ranger in Scoom's cap, and the lady with the eye patch, and the wizard. Oh, he came out really shiny. Oh well, maybe his robes are of a glossier material. Maybe they're like silk or something. And then there's the soldiers and the whatnot, and yeah, you'll see them all in individual pictures at the end. So there's 17 miniatures here. I actually finished 18 this week, but there was one I can't show you yet because it's the rock that I painted for the Reaper painting competition on the Facebook page. I will link to that below. They put up the gallery like on Friday, and it's probably going to stay until next Friday, and you can vote. And what it is, it's just gallery pictures. There's like a lot of entries. There's 63 entries, which is surprised me. It's more than for the last competition, the quarterly competition for the Beetle Rider. And I mean, it's such a huge miniature. It takes a long time to paint, and there were several people who posted in the group that they were not going to finish it. They just posted some work in progress because they knew they were not going to be in time for the competition. But still, all 63 entries. That's a lot. It's going a bit better for me. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to say anything about it. What you do is just you go into the gallery, and you can give a thumbs up to as many of the entries as you like. That's how the voting happens. And the one that has the most thumbs up, the most likes at the end is the winner. And well, I can say this then because it's in general for all the entries, and something that a lot of people have commented on, that it was really difficult because the rules are that you can only post one picture, and it's such a huge mini. You really want more than one angle to be able to show off as much of it as possible, but it's not possible. You can't do it. You just have to choose one angle and hope it's the best one. And some people used a mirror to get more angles. That's a bit more complex than I managed, but anyway, I will show you my version next week, because by then the competition will be over, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. This competition was sort of out of the ordinary. It was I'm not sure why they created it, because the routine seems to have a quarterly competition, one every 3 months, and this is outside that schedule. They have posted the model for the next quarterly competition, which has a deadline of end of September. It's a mini I painted before. It's the what's called the Chaos Toad Sorcerer or something like that. It's the green slod. I can show you. this is my old version of it. I'm not going to enter this into the competition because it's not competition worthy. It's not good enough. I need to make a better version. And I can't even get hold of the model right now because it's not in stock in the Reapers UK warehouse. So let's hope it turns up sometime during August. So I have time to paint a more advanced version of that figure. Yeah, because I think I'm probably going to enter as long as I can get the mini in time to do a good job on it. I probably will. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's enough about finished stuff and competitions, and just let's move on to the work table. All right, so here we're looking out at the work table. My work table doesn't actually look like this. I've piled everything that is currently in the works on here. Usually I've got a couple of models actually on the mat and the rest off to the side, but just, you know, for illustration to show you what's happening here. It's these impact miniatures, fantasy football types, and a few Reaper minis over there that have been started. The thing I'd like to show you most is the Rhino and the Hippo. If you'll remember, they didn't have any ears, so I've actually sculpted these on. You can perhaps tell through the primer that they're a little bit green. The ears, that is. That's because it's green stuff. But I thought I'd explain the way to do that is not just to take a lump of green stuff and stick it on there. What I did was I inserted pins into their heads at the ear holes because they were already guide holes made for adding some sort of cast pieces that were supposed to come with, and I drilled up those and inserted small rods, and then I just sculpted a flap of green stuff, folded it around the pin, and then used some plastic putty to blend it into the rest of the skin. And hopefully once we get some paint on there, it will look perfectly normal. They're a bit uneven, but hey, that sometimes happens naturally. I don't know. So hopefully it will all be seamless in the end. And now also hopefully I can knock most of these out by next week. Hello, Bonesy friends. These have just been cleaned up and ready for priming. Like I mentioned in some of them, I just left them with these bases they were with, but other ones had bases that didn't really float my boat, so I just added these thin plastic green circles, and then I have some base and grit on that. And they're ready for prime time. They're ready to be primed. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because I didn't need to. I had enough other stuff to paint. But yeah, now I think I might need to bring out the airbrush and prime these suckers and get started on them. But that finishes up the prepped stuff that you saw me talk about last week. Well, hello there. My July order from Reaper arrived, and let's have a look what I got. Right at the top here, we have a figure that I picked up just because he looked like so much fun. The Dwarven Butcher, who is ready to slaughter a little piggy. Aww. We have a wise old man, Socrates. This was just random. I just noticed they had this figure in their line, and I thought, oh, I need a philosopher. Sandra's Nightbloom Druid was the promo mini for this month. The Sphinx is a classic D&D monster. This one in bones. I didn't have. I don't have any Sphinxes before this, and I've been waiting for this model to come back into stock. It's been out of stock in the UK warehouse for a long time. So I picked it up as soon as I got the chance. The Hooked Hulk, which is a... Well, you might think it's a hook horror. It's more of an Umber Hulk. It's like a skinny Umber Hulk crossed with a hook horror, maybe. So it's kind of a strange composite in D&D terms. What else we got? We have the Marrow, which is a kind of a merperson, except it doesn't have a tail, and it's big and beefy and generally evil. Death Star Lilies. A while back, a few months ago, I tried to buy and paint up all the plant-based monsters they had, but I missed these somehow. I didn't realize they had these, or they didn't turn up on a search. So I rectified that. This is a scenic base. It's not a miniature at all. It's a graveyard base. Now I just have to figure out what character, what figure is important enough to get this huge scenic base. And finally, this piece of terrain, the Sacrificial Altar. So, do I want to paint any of these? Well, I'm thinking most of these bones minis will be placed in the immediate painting queue, as well as the Hooked Hulk, I think. So that's so not the resin base, well, and not Socrates and not the Druid. These 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minis will certainly be prepped for next week. Of course, we need more than just 7 minis at the current rates I'm going, because it's summer and I've got lots of time to paint. So I found this box, which is an old Kickstarter I backed, I think years ago, but never got around to painting. And it's from a company called Stonehaven Miniatures. It was for half-orc figures. But in the end, it turned out a lot of stretch goals added other humanoids of more uncommon varieties. So, for example, this here is some sort of lion centaur figure. This is a half-orc, this is a half-orc, and this is probably a half-orc. And they're interestingly packed in these, like, strips of baggies somehow. And oh, here's some really small figures. I counted these, and I think there's, if I counted correctly, a total of 40 models in here. So I'm not going to show you all of them, and I'm not going to paint all of them in 1 week, but I thought I might pick out, I don't know, 10 or so to prep for next week. That might be enough to be going on with, and that'll provide some variety, something other than Reaper stuff. And yeah, it'll be a surprise which ones I choose. I don't even know myself yet. You'll just have to join me in a week and see. So that was all for this week. As usual, click like, please. Please give me a thumbs up, comment, share the video, subscribe if you haven't done so. But be back in a week in any case for the next step in these minis. Monday as always, this channel as always, and me, Dr. Ian, as always. But for now, I'm signing off.